Hey guys, welcome to my shop. I'm Dave and I make knives. In this video, I have no idea what we're gonna make. I took a few months off for summer. I'm back now. I'm itching to make a knife. I'm itching to make a YouTube video. Had a few ideas. I've got this little piece of 1095 sitting here, 16th inch thick. I've been wanting to make myself like an everyday carry style of knife, just something to pack around with me everywhere I go. I want something lightweight with a relatively small handle on it. I've got this block here that I made in one of my previous videos, stabilizing wood and making resin knife handles. Check that video out if you haven't. And then I've got some black G10 like liner and pin material. So being that there's some black in the resin, I think this is gonna go really good. So what kind of blade shape, what kind of handle shape, I'm still unsure of that. But we'll get started and see where it takes us. Blade length, I don't know. Let's go for like 3.5 inches. And then usually like a 4 or 4.5 inch handle is a nice length. I might stick closer to 4 here. Or 3.5 I could even get away with, it looks like. 7 inches. It's a little short, but I mean whatever. My pocket knife is probably only that long too. So one thing you should always check when you're just going to do a stock removal blade like this is check that your stock is flat. Many times you would just assume that because it's, you know, fresh from the mill that it's going to be perfectly flat steel, but that's not always the case. You can see here that this piece is bent. So here's the trick I use. I just put the blade between two raised pieces and then I go at it with the C-clamp in the middle. And this is also how I fix warps after heat treating. So I'm going to put a little bit of pressure. Do a little bit at a time. You don't want to overdo it and force the bend the other way. Okay, so I didn't quite do it enough. And this steel's really thin. I feel like with my thumbs I could do this just as well. Still a little bit of a bend, but it's getting better. And you don't want to overdo it. Okay, we got it real close there. So mark some spots for our handle pin holes. So we're gonna go drill these out. I'm gonna skip the shot. I don't wanna move my camera all the way there, but I'm gonna do 1/8 inch holes for these 4, and that's gonna fit this black G10 pin right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this one is gonna be a 1/4 inch, and this is gonna do my logo pin. Trying to get that wasp to land. Bitch. Now where were we? Pretty nice. Wow. Alright, so this is definitely like one of the nicer grinds I've done, especially here at the plunge line. So I attribute that to the low belt speed. When I went to the higher grit, I slowed down the belt. I normally do, but this time I went really, really slow, and that seemed to make all the difference. Pretty happy with that. I think this is ready for heat treatment. I just bent the blade a little bit while I was twisting this wire around. This thing is so thin and it bends so easy. I can't really... I guess I could peel this wire off. I think I'm gonna do that. We're gonna redo this. Sorry guys. Okay, it's pretty straight again. This time I'm gonna be really careful not to bend the blade when I'm wrapping this wire around. So we're gonna go for a hamon on this blade. That's the differential heat treatment. So in other words, this is a furnace cement, and it insulates the spine of the blade where it's covered here. So when I do the heat treatment, only the edge that's exposed is gonna get hardened, and we're gonna end up with a nice wavy line in between the hardened and non-hardened portions of the blade. So I'm going to set this in the vise and just let this dry for a little while. So the knife is now ready for heat treatment. The furnace cement has been cured. I followed the instructions, let it air dry for at least 1 hour, and then slowly heat it in the oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit to cure it. And this is the second time I did this, because the first time I didn't follow the instructions and I didn't bake it first. And I've got footage of that screw up, so here it is. Here it is after 3 or 4 hours. It's hardened. The time, I don't think that really matters. I think you can actually put this in the oven and bake it to cure it. I can't remember. So we're gonna go ahead and harden this blade. So I'm gonna go fire up the forge. Okay, we're going to abort this. I'll get a close-up of this. Darn it. Okay, so what happened is a little hole appeared inside the furnace cement here. Right inside here. So I'm sure that's from not baking this beforehand. It's been a while since I've used this stuff, and I should have followed the instructions. Yeah, I got it right this time. So we're gonna go ahead and start the heat treatment. Yeah, it's a little bit warped. Not much. I don't think any worse than when I started, because when I was putting the wire on, I bent the blade a little bit. I'm actually really happy with that. So we'll do a hardness check on this now. Sounds good. So you guys can hear the difference. So we are now going to temper this at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours, and we're going to do that 2 times. Alright, I'm back. I know I said I was going to do 2-hour tempering cycles. I cheated a little bit. It's probably only been like an hour and 15 minutes, maybe an hour and a half, but here's my argument. This blade is only 1/16 of an inch thick, and if it were like 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch thick, I'd be tempering it for the same time, 2 hours. My argument is that because it's so thin, it doesn't need like a full 2 hours for the full thickness of the blade to get to that tempering temperature. But you're welcome to try to change my opinion in the comments. Moving on. I never tried this before, but I'm going to take this opportunity to flatten the top of the scales. When I go to lay my tang on here to mark my holes, it's better for both of these to be flat and parallel with each other. And seeing how they're both backed by this G10, which makes them both parallel on this side, I'm thinking if I just rub it on the paper this way, that should make them flat and parallel on this side as well. So I'm going to give that a shot. And if we measure with the calipers, if this side And this side are about the same. This side's a little higher, so I'm going to try to focus my sanding efforts more to this side. We have a slight taper this way. It's very slight, but I should be able to correct that on the sandpaper here. So I'm just going to press more pressure on this end while I'm sliding, and I'm going to actually do more pushing into the paper rather than pulling it backwards, and I think that's going to take a little more off this side. I think that is close enough. Okay, we'll go drill these now. Alright, so I just took apart the knife. I forgot to get this shot, but while the scales were still on the knife, I just traced on the handle what I need to cut off. So I'm going to go take this off on the bandsaw now, and then I'm going to use this scale as a template to cut this one the same. Ah! Did you guys just see that? Oh no. See if I can squeeze 2 scales onto this piece. Kind of don't like how that is there. All right, let's see what we got here. Ooh. So I'm just going to go do a little bit of preparation to this block. I'm going to sand off this raised lip here and also where the resin leaked around the corner. Not quite as orange as the other block, but that's okay. I think it's going to look just fine. whenever I'm sanding the plunge line using this block, you can see it's pointed at both edges. It's like triangular shaped. I'll raise this back edge so I can get this sharp corner with the sandpaper right into the plunge line. So you can see there's a gap under here. So there's 100 grit. We'll move up to 220 now. So here's 220 grit. Next is 400 grit. There it is, 2000 grit. So there's going to be some polishing steps to do still, but I'm really liking the look of this. So I was originally thinking of doing a lemon etch like I did on that hunting knife in a previous video, but I decided that I want something darker, like a heavier etch. With that lemon etch, the blade is quite polished at the end, and I'm worried that this knife, because it's going to be a pocket knife, I'm going to carry it in a sheath in my front pocket. Just from, you know, being warm and sweating or whatever, I don't want the blade to rust. So I want to go for a darker, heavier etch. In here I have a mix of ferric chloride and water. It's about 50-50. And I've seen in, I think it was Evader Knives video, I think he says he uses about 40 and 40 water and ferric chloride and then tops up the rest with apple cider vinegar. So I've got a little bit of room in this container. I'm gonna do exactly that, but I don't have any apple cider vinegar, so I'm gonna quickly run to the store and I'll be right back. So I'm back. I just added the apple cider vinegar and realized I forgot to hit the record button. So in Evader Knives video, I couldn't find it. I think I actually found this on his Instagram, one of his Instagram posts. But I don't think he said it was 40 and 40 ferric chloride and water. I think he said it was 50-50 and it was almost full, and then he just topped up the last little bit and it was an unmeasured amount. So that's kind of what I did. The level was to about, I think it was about here, and I filled it to about here with the apple cider vinegar. And then I stirred it around a little bit. So Dave Evader, he gets a nice dark etch on his blades, and with this mixture I was using, I could get an etch, but it always seemed to be like a light gray, and I want something a lot darker, so I'm hoping this is going to do the trick. We're going to clean the blade off with some acetone, remove any oils from my fingers that might be on the blade. Should probably wear gloves for this. Did I hit the record button this time? Yeah. Okay. I don't know how long I'm gonna leave this in there. I'm gonna run a timer though, I suppose, so I can at least keep track of it. Yeah, at least if I log how long I was keeping it in here, I'll remember for next time, and I can do longer or shorter or whatever. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, okay. I'm just gonna neutralize this with some Windex. I'm gonna just do it off camera here. And I'm just gonna go give this a rinse with the garden hose outside. I'll be right back. Give it a bit of an air dry with the hose. I just do this stuff a dab at a time. A little bit more. Oh man, that looks nice. Oh, okay, let's keep going. Oh yeah, apple cider vinegar for the win. Oh yeah, I like that. I'm tempted to just stop here, but I want to give it one more dunk for 5 minutes. Maybe 10 minutes. I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, I'm going to clean it in acetone again. Okay, so that's 7.5 minutes in the dip. Same as last time, we're going to hit it with the Windex and then rinse it off with water. Okay, once again, we'll hit it with this metal polish. Before assembly, it is always recommended to do a dry fit, so that's what I'm going to do. Actually, this is not the pin. This is the pin. That's nice. Okay, so we're going to clean all our pieces with acetone. gonna get a new belt. I think it's sharp enough. So that brings us to the end of this video. Next video, I'm going to make a sheath for this knife.